Yes.
Mental health.
Mental health.
That's our focus today.
Oh, yes.
Great. All right.
The headlines, the briefcase.
Budget's a bitter pill. That's the big headline. And of course, this is the image that everyone on each and every daily this morning. Hiyo briefcase.
Taifa leo ameenda na nyingine. Wacha tutakuwa tunaona.
Sawa. That's the standard.
Jobs freeze, tax squeeze.
I love that.
Yeah.
Jobs freeze, tax squeeze. That's a Daily Nation this Friday.
And Taifa leo jamaa yetu.
Oh, but at least you can still see the briefcase.
The briefcase.
Hey, but I think this is the best photo for a front page this morning. Yes, ni ushuru na ushuru zaidi.
Kwanza camera person alipata vizuri. Right on time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And you know the CS for Treasury wasn't looking at that time. Angepatikana.
Off guard. Rada.
Business Daily. M-Pesa relief as big car owners hit in the 347 billion shilling new taxes, and that image. There's a special report on the Business Daily on pages 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The main focus, of course, the budget.
People Daily, daylight robbery. Hapa si wameenda sana.
Hapa si wamekuja sana.
As Gabriel Lugeda says.
Si wamekuja sana, People Daily, Friday.
Hey.
Daylight robbery. Okay.
So my maneno tax agony. Ruto goes easy on loans, hard on taxes.
Yes. Even Star leo wame conform. All right, let's cross the border and see what other people are talking about. And even in Uganda, it's the budget. Fine, they don't have the briefcase on the front page, but they have a loaf of bread, a sliced loaf of bread, and that's how they are talking about the different briefs and details about the budget. But I think I like the way Daily Monitor front pages are usually neat. You remember when they were doing the State of the Nation. They only have like a small flag here.
Yes.
So even this one looks very clean.
Yes.
That's the front page of the Daily Monitor in Uganda. Matters to do with the budget as well. Still in Uganda, budget. And their briefcase is there, finally.
The brownish.
Yes. So the Ugandan budget, yesterday the Minister for Finance in Uganda read out a budget worth 72.63 trillion. 72.63 trillion shillings.
Around there.
Yes.
Wow.
Kenya, we were just saying, 4 trillion is too much. But budget 2024-2025, it is the same story even in Tanzania.
Tanzania, bajeti yamegeuzi. Wasema serikali yatangaza bajeti ikivipa uwezo viwanda vya ndani kupunguza utegemezi wa uagizaji bidhaa nyeti kutoka nje.
Na nyeti hapa wanasema nyeti ni mambo sio private, ni crucial vital things. Bidhaa nyeti kutoka nje.
Gazeti la Mwananchi hiyo, they've also had have a couple of numbers there, 49.
Yes, in Tanzania the budget is 49.3 trillion shillings. Tanzanian money. Yes, not a lot of money. Okay, on the Citizen, economic stimulus. So, and that's, you see the kind of difference in Tanzania, they're talking about economic stimulus. In Kenya, it's about pain.
Yes.
Pain, jobs freeze, tax squeeze. I mean, I don't see any paper or any daily in Kenya that has any positive headline with regard to the budget 2024-2025, apart from Business Daily, which says M-Pesa relief as big car owners hit. So, 50-50 there. Those are the dailies this morning. It's a conversation that we cannot avoid. And once we get to the cartoon, you'll know, because I think members of Parliament are receiving so many calls. They're being forced to switch off their phones with people urging them to vote one way or the other with regard to the finance bill.
Have you called your member of Parliament? Na kama umempigia amesema aje?
Hatuchochei, hatutaki uchochezi. A quick look at the roads. Post budget ni kama watu wameamua waende kazi. Watu wanasema ikae sasa, mumekuja sana na your budget. And Mombasa Road is looking good, nothing to report there. All the tributaries into town, even Pangani right now is just looking nywe. All right, Jogoo Road, hata Jogoo Road watu wako.
Yes.
Yeah?
Ile tu kidogo ya, lakini usually
around this area it's usually red at this time. You can see it's green, not even yellow, green. So just at Mbotela, a bit there, then after that, nothing else to report about. There's no traffic actually, as at 10 minutes past 6. Even Langata Road is looking good, Mbagathi Way, Ngong Road 2, and Wayaki Way into town, nothing to report about. So if you're heading out to work, this is the best time to do so. You'll get to work comfortably.
Right. We can take a look at, speak of heading out, take a look at the diary for niingie maneno ya weather kidogo.
Okay.
Take a look at the diary, and President William Ruto kickstarts our diary this morning. He'll be attending the G7 summit, so he is expected to participate in the G7 summit, which is happening in Italy. So President William Ruto today around the afternoon will be holding bilateral meetings with Pope Francis at the southern Italian region of Puglia. So this group of 7 industrialized nations under the presidency of Italy runs from 13th June, which was yesterday, all the way to the 15th of June, which is tomorrow, and it foresees the participation of United States, Canada, France, UK, Germany, and Japan. Something else now into health matters. It is World Blood Donor Day today, and every year countries around the world celebrate World Blood Donor on the 14th of June. So the event serves to raise awareness on the need for safe blood and blood products. It is one of those days, ukiweza, go and donate blood for someone who needs it. On to the next page. The late reggae MC Njambi Koikai will be laid to rest today at Langata Cemetery from around 10 a.m. According to her family, she will be buried there because her grandmother is buried there, and the family wanted her to be laid to rest close to her. On the sports desk, something that will be following up for you. The Kenya's top athletes, including Faith Kipyegon, Ferdinand Omanyala and Mary Moraa, will today be at the Nyayo National Stadium for the Athletics Kenya track and field trials. It is going to be day 1 for today, and these trials have about 280 athletes participating, and they are expected to have met the 2024 World Athletics rankings as well as the anti-doping requirements. That is just a nutshell of what to expect in our diary. Right now though, let's get Today in History. Right, I'm being told, actually, you know, Fred, on Sunday, we had a funny kuambia Happy Father's Day in advance.
Oh, in advance.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Niku shake.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much.
And Happy Father's Day to me.
In future.
Yeah.
We will give you about 17 years to come.
Kuna mtu ananitanga father.
You never know, by the way, actually. Happy Father's Day to you too.
Oh, yes. And Happy Father's Day to everyone. And our question of the day today is, who would you like to wish a Happy Father's Day? Who would you like to wish a Happy Father's Day? Talk to us. Utuambie, tume jina yake, where the father is probably alive or even maybe passed away, but then you just want to remember this father figure. It doesn't have to be a biological father. Could be someone who really has played or is playing an important role in your life. Who would you like to celebrate this Father's Day? Talk to us. 2047 is our SMS number. At TV47 Kenya on Facebook. 0793-267-279 is our WhatsApp number.
Okay, and I'm sure there are quite a number of ladies who will start saying, oh, I am the father figure, oh, I've done. Forget about it. We're going to Mother's Day. Hey, Father's Day ni our baba. Right, let's take a look at the weather.
Tuanze na Nairobi. Tuone how things are going to be looking like for today. Tumeona traffic is newer, so that means even for the weather is expected to be as smooth, 13 degrees Celsius. Right now, the say feels like about 12 degrees Celsius, but it promises to get as hot as possible for today. And that's how it is. About 0% precipitation. Our final place, tuangalie mahali kuna kuwaga na baridi sana because the cold season has started. Let's go all the way to Kimende and see how it is going to be.
Wow, 9 degrees Celsius.
Yes. Hiyo nilikwambia nika ukifungua mlango ya fridge, the kind of
and the hottest it's going to get is 19 at around 1 p.m.
Yes.
But before that and even after that, it's quite chilly in Kimende area.
Oh, yes.
That's the weather today. Of course, keep warm wherever you are as we continue looking at the budget situation.
Most definitely. A reminder also, and even just a mention for Today in History. Back some years ago, this is when not Charles Jojo, the owner of this gentleman, he had passed away.
Okay.
Yes.
Tutakumbuka hiyo.
Tutakumbuka tu.
Tutakumbuka alafu tutakuambia tukiendelea.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at the papers now. All right, and I remember yesterday I predicted and I told you the front pages will have what? Winners and losers. And that's exactly what we have both on the front page of the Standard and on the Daily Nation. Let's start off with the Standard. Budget's bitter pill. The Treasury is walking a tightrope, juggling between raising revenue to fund insatiable government spending amid public outcry over increased taxes while moving to cut borrowing in an effort to narrow the budget deficit, even as all signs point to difficulty in meeting yesterday's projections by CS Professor Njuguna Ndung'u. Among the winners of this year's budget, retirees, employers who are now going to get 5% tax-free per diem rate, which has been amended from a daily of 2,000 maximum to an amount not more than 5% of monthly gross earnings. Boda riders also winners, public workers, national intelligence, SMEs, plus green energy. But on the front page also, the losers include gamblers, who now excise tax is up from 12.5% to 20% for gamblers. Influencers also, advertising fees charged through the internet and social media subject to 20% excise tax. And this other one I'm sure will affect so many people. Telecommunication, 10% spectrum licenses will be eligible for 10% investment allowance. Eco levy on certain goods manufactured in or imported into Kenya. Motorists, of course, with the motor vehicle tax, foreign firms, foreign workers, mobile phone users. So for mobile phone users, there's now an excise duty on mobile and internet services, up from 15% to 20%. Yes, so it will be a bit more expensive for you to use your mobile phone. That's according to the front page of the Standard, the breakdown that they've done from yesterday's budget. And most of the space has been rather occupied by the stories about the budget. This story in the special coverage is on page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12 pages of coverage on the Standard about the budget read out yesterday. More highlights on the bottom strip. Woman suffers fate like mothers. Freedom for Savula and Chebitwe. And policeman shot dead after attack on magistrate. That's the front page. On the back page, Germany braced for Euros, with France and England the favourites. And tonight, Germany will be hosting Scotland at kickoff at 10 p.m. There's a 2024 Euros. So for fans of that competition, something to look forward to. That's the Standard this morning.
On the Daily Nation, winners and losers, they say on the winners, M-Pesa mortgage owners, retirees, as well as JSS teachers. On the right side of losers, they mentioned bread prices to go up, to eliminate 16% VAT. Owners of big cars budget speech omits cap of 100,000 Kenyan shillings on motor vehicle tax. Small banks as well as borders on the side of losers. They have the coverage from page 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But on the bottom, they make mention of President William Ruto's visit to Mount Kenya yesterday. Ruto shuns politics, pledges to boost agriculture in Mount Kenya tour. On the right scroll, police officer shot dead as magistrate injured in City Court drama, and also Germany plays Scotland in Euro 2024 opener. On the back page, the flip, FBI helping probe graft money laundering cases. Remember early in the week, people on social media were trying to understand why a jet flew from US all the way to Kenya. And it was an FBI jet, and they were wondering who are they coming to arrest. And there's that whole speculation on the same. Well, more details is here. That in a nutshell is the Daily Nation.
All right, well, the Business Daily still matters to do with the budget. M-Pesa relief as Bika owners hit in 374 billion new taxes. 20% duty on cash transfer fees reversed, so that's a relief for users of mobile money. But the motor vehicle tax, they had placed a cap on 100,000 cap, 100,000 shillings, but now they've removed that cap. So there's a minimum, which is 5,000, but now you can imagine it's 2.5% of the value of your car. So if your car is valued at probably 10 million or 15 million, you can do the calculation. Inside the tax plan, they've also broken down some of the highlights on the front page of the Business Daily, and there's a special coverage on at least the 5 top pages of the Business Daily. Other stories away from Budget Matters. Used car dealers lose in price review war with KRA. Britam eyes entry into the DRC via acquisition. Bamburi gives a 500 million shilling loan to its subsidiary. And finally, MTN Uganda share sale oversubscribed. Those are just some of the stories given prominence on the front page of the Business Daily today.
Normally hapo unasema a liter of whiskey up from 267 to 592.
Hiyo ndo umeona.
To around 720. Najua itaguza wengi.
Yes. All right. Ni ushuru na ushuru zaidi. Habari kuu pale kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa Taifa Leo. Ni uchungu kwa Wakenya wa mapato ya chini baada ya Wizara ya Fedha kuondoa nafuu kwa bidhaa kadhaa. Pia hao wanapeana vidokezo zaidi kutoka kwenye bajeti iliyosomwa jana na Waziri wa Fedha, lakini kuna picha pale and I think this is a face of Kenya protesting against the kind of budget estimates and the finance bill of 2024. So yes. Habari nyingine pale kuna habari ambayo haijapewa kipaumbele kwingineko, lakini kwa gazeti hili, OCS apiga hakimu risasi naye auawa. This is something that happened in court yesterday, Makadara courts, but because of the budget probably did not get the prominence it should have. Hakimu alikuwa amefuta dhamana ya mke wa askari huyo. Kwingineko, wenyeji Ujerumani kuanzisha ngoma leo, masuala ya Euro.
Right. Tuangalie gazeti lingine, Daylight Robbery is what is on the front page of People Daily. The employees set to feel the brunt of new tax measures as state attempts to raise revenue targeting the payslip to service 4 trillion cash shillings mega budget. Also give extensive coverage of it, and they have more than 3/4 of the page are the highlights that are on the front page. It's a close shave for magistrate, that conversation as well. And Ruto and Gachagua downplay differences is on page 5. And also take a look at finally the Star before we tuingie cartoons. The ladies are here. Weekend queue.
Oh, the weekend queue is here.
Yes.
The weekend imefika.
Tunaenda kujirusha. On the front page of the Star, Ruto goes easy on loans, hard on taxes. They say alcohol, cigarettes, gambling and payslips targeted to boost KRA collections. Other highlights on the front page, nothing to smile about, says Kenyans of 2024-2025 budget, the same. Interesting on matters weather, dry weather to continue in most places, that is according to the weatherman. So Nikaba pia, we were waiting for some cold season, but probably it's just going to be dry and also cold. All right. As well.
Even as we take a look at the cartoon, I think this is the best time to bring in the weekend queue. Bansi Kimuyu and Gashambi Nderitu are in studio. Good morning, karibuni sana. How hot is your coffee?
It is very hot.
And I'm looking at the cartoon on page 16 of the Daily Nation, and it has to do with the budget. And this trend that has been happening, everyone trying to call their MP. Someone actually puts the numbers of different legislators online, and they're urging people to call their member of parliament. So the cartoon is actually talking about that. The MP is hiding under a table. Sema it's the finance bill, Your Excellency, amejificha chini ya meza, but the phone is ringing off the hook, and it's written very angry voter.
Very angry voter.
Yes. So what do you think about that trend? I saw you, Gashambi, commenting on that on X and saying that this is a generational thing this time round. Things will be different. How different do you think it will be?
I think we are actually going to experience a revolution in our lifetime.
Really?
Which is beautiful. I think people are tired and it's not business as usual anymore. Yeah. And our generation is very, very bold. I don't know about you as a Dimuli.
From the generation I come from, we'll just stand back and watch as you continue their revolution.
It is very bold. The things guys are doing online, I'm going through the tweets. Oh my God, goosebumps.
Bansi, what about you?
I think I love it because it's like we're holding our leaders accountable Salasi alisema he'll be like the Taiwan member of parliament. He's going to steal the bill. We are holding him accountable. We are waiting for that.
Would you call your MP?
Yes, I would.
And text and say, reject this or the other in Bunge?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if they will, how else will they hear our voices?
But do you think that will work, though, as much as we're doing it? Do you
I don't know.
Effective?
It's this generation that's doing
I
it.
think it's called applying pressure. That's what we're doing.
I mean, we've seen even celebrities coming on board and saying, I mean, have you guys read the Finance Bill 2024, pushing a whole hashtag of reject the Finance Bill? So even happening, not only because you'd probably find pundits just talking about it. Right now, even musicians and, people in the entertainment industry also talking about this. So pressure lazima, it's coming from different parts of different
hii inakaa imewauma. Finally hii imewauma. Content generation, content creators, wamepata there's something there. Then money transfer. Yes? At least there's a relief there, money transfer. That was going to bite you guys good. But then, using your mobile phone. There's now a 20% excise duty on mobile and internet services. Up from 15, it goes up to 20%. So it means that using your internet and using your mobile phone will cost you a bit more. No wonder mmekasirika hivyo.
But I don't know what this government is trying to tell us as a nation, because I believe a budget says a lot about the government and where they hold their people. I've also seen the maternity, what's it called? The maternity fund. I can't remember the name, but it is down to 2.1 billion from 4 billion last year's budget, which is really so sad. It is really
interesting
sad.
That influencers, and I think this generation, especially content creators, and the way you use your phones, the way you use your social media, and the way people are making money from social media, that government has decided, we want a bit of it. But it's surely, when you work here, you pay taxes. Why don't you want to pay the government something and you're making money? What's the big deal, Bansi?
Honestly, I think the budget is greedy. That's the only word I think.
It's a greedy budget.
It's a greedy budget.
I think it's People Daily that has called it daylight robbery. Very daring headline here.
There's a feeling if you tell people these are the reasons, this is how we are also going to use the money that we are taking. Si nikuje nikuambie Fred nipatie pesa. Na wewe ngojea tu development. Wewe lakini nipatie pesa. But then you don't actually see the development. So that's where it really asks a lot of people. They're wondering, fine, I mean, okay, fine, I'll give you my money. But where is the development at the end of the day?
And I think I saw someone on Twitter say that I wish we were able to see the figures that the previous regime borrowed, the loans that we have, how far are we in paying them, and how much the current government has borrowed, and what has been used by the money that has been borrowed by.
But I think I like the conversation, the fact that more people now understand these conversations about budget and about taxes and the finance bill. That InfoTrack poll said that a majority of Kenyans, about 55% of Kenyans, have a good understanding of the budget making process.
And they've read...
yes, guys are taking time and they're actually reading the budget estimates.
You guys, including Instagram buddies, they are VAT on
Stana
vapes.
girls.
People are not
Content.
They're like, not our vapes, but it's really, I don't know.
Meanwhile, the president is off to Italy, then to Switzerland this week. He left the country yesterday.
Cannot beat the allegations.
He's in Italy this morning, and I think later today or tomorrow he heads to Switzerland.
On Sunday.
Yes. He heads to Switzerland.
Ni kazi ameenda kufanya Bansi, ni kazi. Ni gig amefanya, ni gig ako. And interestingly, he'll be meeting with the Pope today, and he'll be among the very few African leaders there. Others are, European leaders. So
a man of many fasts.
Yes.
So yes, it is a Feelgood Friday. What do we look forward to today?
I think it's a beautiful morning, other than the fact that we are rejecting the finance bill as youngings, as millennials. Panelist mkisema Happy Father's Day. And
it's on Sunday.
Stanley alisema siku kuna mtu anamuita nini? Ungesema tu daddy. Finish.
Alitumia shenga kitabu.
What did he say? He used I don't know. Ati father, come on.
Are you expecting a gift from your kids?
I don't know.
Are there any expectations?
Well, I know I'll gift my dad and wish him happy Father's Day. By the way, David Indimuli, where you are, happy Father's Day in advance.
Oh, yes. Charles Nyeringita, happy Father's Day to you. So, yes.
All right, Mr. Kimuyu, happy Father's Day to you. I love you.
Mr. Simon Deritu, happy Father's Day.
All right.
You rock.
Yeah.
And they can obviously tell us, wherever you're watching us from, you can obviously tell us who are you celebrating this Father's Day. 22047 is our SMS number. 0793267279 is our WhatsApp number. At around 8:30 hapo tutakuwa tunafungua the phone lines. So that you can actually call us live and tell us kwa phone call vizuri, who are you celebrating. Our question of the day: who would you like to celebrate this Father's Day? Oh yes.
Indimuli, you've told us you don't ask single moms to say.
No. By the way, that one.
The dad who stepped up.
No. You can wait for Mother's Day. You hog Mother's Day, you hog International Women's Day.
But you see, dads don't breastfeed.
Valentine's Day was...
Sisi tumeachiwa International Toilet Day na.
Yes, you're sharing Men's Day with Toilet Day. Please leave Father's Day for the fathers, please. At least for once.
We
yes.
hear you.
You too. We are, but not saying anything about single mothers. We're not saying they don't do a good job. They do a splendid job.
They do.
Yes, and we do appreciate them. Yeah. And for all those moms who step up, congratulations, and you're doing a good job, but I will not say happy Father's Day to you.
You've refused. You're my kata.
Here to make kata.
That's where you draw the line.
I'm not boarding.
Yes, this is what is coming up.
Yes, as we delve into matters budget on the youth perspective, Kiruga Thuku will be joining us, Njeri Kahiga and Jimmy Gikwa. Do stand by for that conversation, of which you can be part of, as always, on social media, through X handle. I keep confusing our Twitter handle. Twitter sounded much better.
Which reminds me, by the way, right now X, you make a like private. So
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do with that information as you wish.
It is a good, I'm enjoying, because the things I'm liking, the fact that you guys cannot see.
Hey, what are you liking?
What does that mean?
No, like politically.
Oh, okay.
Things that are political. You know, as a journalist, sometimes you're limited.
It means
so I'm really enjoying that space.
You cannot know what I have liked.
Yes. So if I like Bansi's picture, no one else can know what I'm like.
Oh my God, the cheaters are having a smooth.
Oh, they're having a good time. They're having a good time.
They're loving this.
I remember there was a guy I was dating, and I used to go to his likes and tell him, Leo, ume.
Nani we me like.
Who is this and why are you liking this picture? Why are you the first one to like?
All right, our X handle is when you say our X handle, our X is at TV47 News on Facebook, TV47 Kenya. My Twitter handle is at Freddy Dimuli.
Oh yes. Coming up around 8 to 8:30, we'll be having a psychologist, Alan Data, to discuss men's mental health and just trying to open up, really.
Yes.
Tunakoga pile up a lot of issues. So we'll be trying to understand for men, why do we have all those issues piled up? Why can't we actually even talk? Stick around for that conversation. We'll be having a band and a whole kind of a nice setup. From around 8:30 hadi 10, just making you feel good and starting your weekend in a whole nice way. Nimekumbuka the ones that I told you. So back in 2021, Chris Kirubi, on a day like today, around 1 p.m., he passed away.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I didn't know.
Yes.
Media mogul.
Yes.
All right, time now for a break. A lot more coming up. Remember, it is Feelgood Friday. Be part of this.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback, ana sniff Simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave, wallahi. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Here on Beyond the Limit, we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of individuals who redefine possibilities. In a journey of resilience and determination, these individuals demonstrate that limitations are merely stepping stones to greatness.
I'm Nancy Njoroge, a mother of 3. I have 2 girls and a boy who is Clinton and who is autistic.
When my heart got healed, I decided to come out to be creating CP awareness, to let other people know that there is such a condition, and people that has it is not that they are witches.
Together, let's go beyond the limit every Saturday at 8 p.m.
Welcome to The Realtor, where we take you on an exciting journey from bare land to dream home. Step 1. Finding the perfect plot. We explore location, size, and potential. Next, construction begins. Witness the foundation being laid, walls rising, and rooms taking shape. Step 3. Electricity matters. We delve into wiring, switches, and smart home tech. Step 4. From paint choices to fixtures, it's all about aesthetics. Step 5. It's time to get the right furniture. Finally, the big day. Time to move in and create memories. Join us on the journey to making homes a reality on The Realtor, Tuesdays 6:30.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback, ana sniff Simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business. It's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries, and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave. Wallahi. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Here on Beyond the Limit, we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of individuals who redefine possibilities. In a journey of resilience and determination, these individuals demonstrate that limitations are merely stepping stones to greatness.
Of course, the dailies today, a lot to do with the budgets, the budget making process, the budget estimates as read out by the CS for Treasury yesterday. Jobs freeze, tax squeeze. That's the front page of the Daily Nation. On the Standard, budget's beat appeal. I think on the People Daily is where we have probably one of the most daring headlines, and it says daylight robbery. Yes. And we do have panelists in studio. Being a Friday, I'll want you to introduce yourselves today. Let's start with the gentleman right next to me.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. Thank you, Fred. And good morning, fellow panelists. My name is Kiruga Duku. I'm the member for County Assembly, Chinga Ward in Nyeri County. I'm also a member of the UDA NEC, and also a member of the UDA Steering Committee. Mm-hmm. Of course, you realize after NEC, we have the Steering Committee of the party. Mm-hmm. And I thank you for this invitation, and also, you know that poster you sent us yesterday, mm-hmm. State Youth Perspective, and I interpreted it.
Hey, you're not sure if you're among the youth?
No, I'm a youth. Don't be lied to by the white beard. This is wisdom beard, so okay. I'm a youth.
Right.
I thank you.
And it's because you guys wear so many different hats that sometimes we get to confuse, and sometimes we even change parties. That's why I want you to introduce yourself. The only lady in the panel.
Good morning, everybody across the country. I'm Jerry Kahiga from Nyandarua County, Kirita constituency, Ndaragwa constituency, no, Kirita ward, sorry. Mm-hmm. And I'm a member of the Party of the National Unity, PNU, led by our party leader, Peter Munya. And I am a young person in this panel, and today I'm the luckiest woman to be here with government. And I'm in opposition, of course.
When you talk about government, what exactly do you mean?
Is it allowed to receive defectors?
We will gladly, we actually
come out to you.
Now Jimmy to introduce himself.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Jimmy Ekwa, Mount Kenya Youth Chairperson. I'm a chairperson of a culmination of very many groupings. I believe in Kenya for Kenya, and I believe in youth for youth. So thank you very much for the invitation.
I've heard her referring to you as government.
Yes, I'm part of government. I'm in the Kenya Kwanza coalition.
Okay.
Still have an issue, particularly in Kiambu, with our national party, which we'll fix in due course.
Okay.
So we are a bit skeptical on the ride. So
kuna member wa NEC hapa
No, Kidogo, he's my old friend. We actually started the party. I was part of the process.
Anaweza kusaidia.
Kiambu kidogo mko na kibarua.
Okay.
We are still open to a lot of talks and thinking. So I think we'll have a good time.
All right. So our dailies, because all three East African nations had their budget speeches yesterday. Tanzania, 49.3 trillion shillings budget Tanzanian money. Uganda, 72.6 trillion Ugandan money. Kenya, about 3.9 trillion shillings. But the difference you can actually see is that the headlines in Tanzania this morning are talking about economic stimulus. In Uganda, they are looking at something positive about the budget. When you come back home, all the dailies are talking about pain. Yeah, jobs freeze, tax squeeze, season of pain on the front page of the Daily Nation, budget's bitter pill on the front page of the Standard. And these are the headlines. And do you agree with this kind of assessment, Kiruga, when it comes to the budget making process? Do you agree that this time round, Kenyans are really pained by this budget making process?
You know, friend, the reason there is this interpretation of bitter pill or a painful budget, it's because, you know, His Excellency the President have tried to explain this severally, that as a country, we tax at our GDP at a rate of 14% of our GDP. Our contemporaries, the countries that we are at the same level with, countries like Tunisia, countries like Morocco, countries like South Africa, Egypt, and such other countries. In their countries, and they are our peers, they tax between 22% and 28% of their GDPs. So the president has been calling for this harmonization. And you see, we got here because the former president, His Excellency Mwai Kibaki, was actually the one who came up with this idea of the VAT and streamlining the tax regime. What I can say is that, you know, people, we are feeling maybe the pinch we are taxed here, because one thing people should not forget, you know, I also have a pay slip, it is also being taxed.
So you're feeling the pain?
No, I don't want to call it a pain. You know, we have to support our country, my brother. We have to.
Okay, Jerry.
So I want to finish with something small. I wanted to say, you know, like the job freeze and what have you, because, again, our government has committed itself. You take these taxes, we also want to, someone is not saying, and I have to say it here, the government is committed to streamlining matters production. We want to support production more than consumption, and the president is on record.
Basically what you're saying is that the pain is justified. And Jerry, do you agree with this assessment? The fact that all the dailies are talking about pain. In Kenya, no one is happy about what they had yesterday.
Through these, you don't expect Member for Chinga to say online that he's feeling the pain, but I can bet you the moment he goes to the fuel pump, he understands what it means being a Kenyan. Because I always tell anybody in office, please, as you support government, as you rubber stamp that the government is doing something for Kenyans and the taxes are not a pain, please remember you'll not be in government forever. One day you're going to come back and be a citizen like us. And regardless of how much money you're going to have made in your regime or when you people are in government, at the end of the day, these taxes will one day make a meaning to you like a normal Kenyan. Today when you go to Mashinani, in Chinga where he comes from, he can tell you, he's been called about families that are sleeping hungry, he's been called about bursaries, he's been called about medical fundraisers, he's been called about even kids who have not even gone to school, until right now, Form 1 students. Reason being, in as much as we are talking about taxes, I am very sure no Kenyan has a problem with paying taxes. We have a problem with paying taxes and we cannot see accountability. You don't charge me taxes 100%, but you want to give me a bare minimum of 10% as return. When we come to Mount Kenya, the whole debate that we've been having as a region is 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. We cannot be giving this nation so much in revenue collection as a region, then you tell me that a member of Ruto constituency is being given the same allocation, budget allocation for CDF as somebody in Lamu, although they are going to bring the debate of, you know, the resources before they get to Lamu and the Ruiru resources are near and all that. But at the end of the day, no Kenyan has a problem with paying taxes if the roads are well done, if schools are given capitation on time, if when I go to health, I can be able to access healthcare. But you're not going to tax us, yet when I go to school, capitation, you had the headlines for last week, capitation for first term, we're in second term. But capitation for first term is still halfway, they're at 8,000 and they're yet to get to 12,000. We've not even started on the capitation of second term. When you go to universities, HELB, university capitation is the same, it's stuck. At the end of the day, you are straining us to pay taxes, then you want us again to beg and be at your mercies for you to bring the same in Mashinani. Come to Nyandarua County, right now you have to leave your car at Naivasha. You cannot access the roads because the roads are worse than even before. Because regardless of the fact that there is a budget, it is not being absorbed in the right way to give us development. So no Kenyan has a problem with paying taxes as long as we can see it kwa ground ikifanya kazi. But don't overtax us and then still money goes elsewhere. You fly in private jets, you buy designer watches and designer belts, then Mashinani you don't bring anything.
Do you agree that many Kenyans are feeling a bit, let's say uncomfortable, maybe not pain, but they're uncomfortable with this process?
Yeah, basically at some point, Kenyans have an issue with the whole tax, the whole tax regime and the whole tax factor. But I would also want to remind them, I've heard her talk about the roads are impermeable. From now, you have to leave your car in Naivasha. I want to remind them they were in government for 10 years.
Who are they?
She is a member of PNU, and her boss was he was the cabinet secretary for agriculture.
Yeah. Sasa agriculture kuna anatengeneza barabara.
We are looking at it as all government approach. Agriculture, agriculture hata barabara.
But is it fair to keep excusing current failures because of what happened last administration?
You see, like a government does not run like buying a new mobile and setting up new Android features and it's a go. We work on recurrent expenditure, we work on loans. Like for instance, 60% of our budget, if you had the PS, Kipto, say we are paying 60% of our budget, any coin that comes into this country goes to pay interest on loans. So we are left with 40% to pay our current, past. Now we are forgetting about even the international loans. Now we come back to our normal local loans, our contractors, pending bills at 40%. So we are negative 60 before we even start anything. Negative 60, we did not get there last year. It was bad tax and bad finance decisions that were made. We overinvested in projects that were very many white elephants. So far, so bad on all of them. Not making this country any money. We made individuals money. That is why we will, at some point, we would really want to feel for Wanjiko, which we are part of. But on the other hand, we have a reality to look at. His Excellency William has a big job to steer this country in a way that we do not go above the 40-50%.
He has chosen to go the taxation way, and many are wondering if this is sustainable, given the kind of complaints we saw last year with the Finance Act of 2023. And there was a lot of murmuring. This time around, the murmurs are getting louder. According to Treasury, this kind of tax regime will continue and should persist until probably 2028 is when, according to their prediction, then things will start aligning. But do you think it's sustainable if the murmurs continue getting louder? Yesterday you saw, and I think that picture is on the front page of Taifa Leo, a protester dashing towards where the CS for Treasury was. That was very daring. We've not seen that before. If these murmurs get louder, how sustainable will this method the government has chosen be?
You know, in fact, that was a bit comical because it was said he wanted to grab that the bag, didn't want the minister to leave, and he dashed for the suitcase. But you know, friend, even when Mzee Kibaki was in power, because we use Mzee Kibaki as the point of economic reference and economic prowess for this country. I remember one headline, Kenyans getting, you were saying Kenyans are getting poorer under the NAC regime. So there will always be those concerns. But I like it, when you hear the opposition members starting to appreciate, fine, we have no problem with the taxes. But
value,
utilize, how are they utilized?
We on the right trajectory.
And when the president keeps saying, and you can look at this, that, we want to target production more than consumption. This one, eventually what will happen, because once you incentivize production, you grow wealth, friend. You grow wealth. You grow money. And
Yet, when it comes to production, we saw that between this new budget and last year's budget, there's a reduction in the allocation for agriculture by about, is it 10 or 13 billion shillings?
But production...
How is that incentivizing production?
Production is not just about agriculture alone. You balance it, even the school regime, and you see a lot of money is going to schooling. You see? It is targeting areas that are crucial for the growth of the nation. But one thing I wanted to tell my sister, when she talks of watches, private jets, unless she is able to prove that our taxes are going towards that, she should just relax. Because if I have my friends, and for example, they pay for a batch, and I invite you there, Fred or him have no business telling us we are taking expensive sodas unless it is proved we have used taxes.
Kiruga, you're talking about production, but if I look at even the front pages, because they've broken down, and there's the typical winners and losers, yes? Among the losers is manufacturers, yes, because of the eco levy. We have foreign firms that are now, including manufacturing firms, that are being forced out of this market because of a minimum top-up tax of 15% that they have now to pay. Foreign workers, who include those who work from foreign direct investment companies here, motorists, all this is making production quite expensive.
See, Fred, let's be fair to the government. Fred, you want people...
No, I'm just challenging when you're saying manufacturing has been boosted.
No, it has. And I also want to invite you, not just to... you also are Kenyan. At times, it's not just good for you reporters to just see the negative side. Because, like foreigners, when they come here and earn, you want them to take all our money and get it back to their countries. No, let them leave Kenyans with some money, my brother.
What I'm saying is, Jerry, and you'll probably help with this, the justification, and between the two of them, they've said that the justification for this pain is the debt hole we are in. So most of the money being collected is going towards servicing debt, not necessarily boosting production. Yes, not necessarily going towards development.
Yes.
It is servicing debt.
60%.
Yes, that in itself means we'll be at a standstill for quite a while.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have to see that
meaning even the economy will not be growing as expected. How sustainable is that?
First of all, when we come to production, and what Member for Chinga is just avoiding to say, because he's government, he's just avoiding to say that this regime has decided that they are not going to focus with empowering common mwananchi. They are instead going to focus on squeezing common mwananchi. Because you cannot tell me you are allocating agricultural budget lower than the last financial year. Yet, you cannot even, we had the last financial Bill 2023, we were here with you, Fred, and we discussed that was a burden to Kenyans. Then again, the government said, oh, if we are able to achieve these finance bill targets, we are going to be looking at moving from ICU to HDU. They were saying moving from ICU to HDU. Right now, they're not even taking us now to HDU. Now, they are taking us to the coffin, to the morgue itself. because last year, whatever the finance bill was supposed to collect did not even, I wish they were telling us in terms of data analysis, they tell us, last year the finance bill was targeted to collect this amount. We have gotten to at least 80% of it, and we can see...
They fell short of the target by about 250
exactly, for their target. Then, instead of making reasonable budgets, they now even go beyond what was there last year that was not achieved. I wish they would just have remained at the cap of last year. They still do a budget within what they had last year, and they realize we went short of 200, you said 200?
250.
250 billion. They do something around there. Now they have gone over and above. And I am wondering, where do they expect this money is coming from? Common mwananchi, you've not added them anything on land. You saw the whole of last year, fake fertilizer. Kenyans have not harvested anything. You are again taxing them.
Those are
you understand? No, you guys, listen.
Okay, hold that.
Listen, let me finish it.
You know, it's good to explain.
Member for Chinga,
Does it
was
mean
there fake fertilizer in Kenya or not?
Very minimal.
That very minimal
Less than 1%.
affected. That very minimal
And it
was in Nyandarua County where...
those were crooks and they were arrested and taken to
So you are
court.
agreeing that you people had fake fertilizer?
Less than very minute.
Why would the government know its resources accommodate even that 1%?
You cannot describe the issue of fertilizer
as a whole.
Using the fake fertilizer.
It was just a small...
And you yourself...
The question was about production.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. At the end of the day, the government in this whole bill has not focused on how to help mwananchi do more production. Instead, they have added cost to production, right? And me as common mwananchi, I wish the government was telling me, oh, you know, I have given you additional this and this to go do some agriculture, better agriculture in Nyandarua County, so that I can tax you more. You cannot tax us more when you're not doing anything to elevate our production, our kind of production. And at the end of the day, what is going to happen in Mashinani? You cannot tax somebody who does not have anything to be taxed. What is going to happen? We are still going to keep our members of parliament and our members of the county assembly in a delusional nation where they think we have money flowing in, and our governments thinking that, oh, you know, our KRA is collecting money, but instead, just wait, see, we are in the month of people filing returns. Let us see what people are going to do with it.
All right.
And you realize it's going to be lesser than even the 250 billion from last time.
All right. We continue looking at the budget estimates and some of the highlights from the budget that was read yesterday by Professor Njuguna Ndungu. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a short while.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of...
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries, and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave. Wallahi. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers in
All right, you're still watching Morning Cafe. Welcome back. This is TV47 with me, Fred Indimuli, and the conversations during the break are even more interesting. We're still trying to understand this budget and what it means to us, even without just going into the details. The feeling is that, and I think Jerry raised it, Jimmy, that probably it's a bit too ambitious to go for a budget that's 3.9 trillion shillings when KRA is struggling to raise that kind of revenue. We look at the kind of targets KRA had last year. Despite an enhanced taxation regime, it failed spectacularly in meeting the targets. And these are targets set by itself. This time round, it's targeting to raise about 2.9 trillion shillings. Yes? And the taxation regime is supposed to do that. Meaning already we have a budget deficit of about 1 trillion shillings. Yes? And that in itself, because of that ambition, it means it could push us into more debt. Is that how really it should be?
At some point, I may partially agree with you on the ambition, but on the other hand, I would want to really look at this country going forward. We can't stagnate, neither can we go back for whatever reason. Like you was talking about industrialization. Last year there was a big budget and a big revitalization of industrial parks. And I'm sure by now we're supposed to have opened all industrial parks in the 47 counties. That was value addition. That was production, value addition and production addition in this country. So basically what I'm looking at...
We're here to see those industrial parks start working.
But now, so most of them, like you see the lady, like one for Homa Bay is almost up and running. Madam Gladys Wanga doing some beautiful job there. We also have one from Kirinyaga, also almost completing, because you know it has a lot of infrastructure in terms of the building and all that. But it is something that will revitalize the common mwananchi back to the business. The e-teams people were complaining about. Have you had noise about e-teams again?
Well, last week it had failed. The portal was not accepted.
Yeah, no, that is more technological. That is basically not. But the feeling of where we'll get that extra 1 trillion is because we have so much untaxed income indirectly in going into people's hands, like brokers. Like, for instance, I live in Thika. Do you know Thika is the Birmingham of Kenya? That is the industrialization zone of this country. In Thika, the amount of money that flows there may be even more money than what flows in Maua because of Mira. And the amount of people who you can now get, we have gone to a broker. It was impossible for you to make a broker makes 2 shillings in 2 shillings and sells something worth 10 million for every kg. So a broker can make a clean 500,000 seated, just a phone call from this corner to that corner, and he makes that money. Now we have gone, before they get paid, they have to also be fixed, and that is what is happening now. Our revenue collection streams are now being streamlined. We are going more e-digital, which will help us in terms of bringing up the markups. Yes.
Yet many people argue, and rightfully so, that despite the higher budgets, most of this money simply goes to recurrent expenditure.
Yes.
Counties are simply employment bureaus that despite the fact that now even from the equitable share, they're going to get 15 billion shillings more, 400.1 billion shillings going to counties. Last year it was 385 billion. Most of that money is just simply going to pay salaries. This is a concern that bigger, more ambitious budget does not necessarily mean that you're going to get anything in as far as development is concerned.
Fred, I don't think that is the case. Because if you remember, as members of county assemblies, we are still pursuing the distribution of resources through what we call the ward fund. And you know what? Ward fund will be a great cure even to the scrabble we are seeing about how to to share resources in this country. Because, for example, there has been this misconception that ward fund belongs to the MC. It's not. Ward fund is money, say 30, 40, 50 million. Every ward in the Republic of Kenya gets that money, whether the MCA is in good terms with the governor or not. It's like a mini CDF. So that, and it is a very good way of devolving resources from up there, because we did devolution all the way to the wards, but we did not devolve the resources. So there is a lot of hope. And Fred, for example, there is coffee, cane farmers get a boost in treasury proposals. So even coffee farmers, they have something to smile about. We are in a new education system. People are not telling us, you saw the junior secondary teachers going on strike. Now, their issues have been addressed. TSC, even these interns that were making the medics, to go on strike, all those areas have been addressed by this budget. And
once again, when it comes to education, a 30 billion shilling deduction on allocation to education from last year's budget to this year.
The issue is very simple. You reduce from the non-essential areas, and you boost the most essential areas.
Which are the more essential apart from education? And that's a concern, because the budget goes up, yet essential sectors like agriculture, education and health get budget cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, my sister here, and I'm even surprised she's agreeing with you very fast, yet when we are increasing, she's the one saying it should have been capped at what it was last year. And I want to inform her, she's a very good lady, and, I admire her zeal in politics. But she should know, the country is just like an individual. The same way we want to see her as a cabinet secretary or an MP tomorrow, the same way even the government. When you don't come here and start, you are aiming just here. You aim big for your country, and that is exactly what the UD is doing.
Well, Jerry doesn't seem persuaded by this.
She will eventually.
You can't aim and hurt the Kenyan person.
No, on the contrary, government is you and me. You should understand, whether you're in opposition or not.
But
Government
those are ambitions that cannot help the Kenyan economy
It's about paying our taxes properly. I'm telling you,
you are ambitious about an
Jerry, I can bet with you.
Government is me.
I can bet with you here. This government will grow this country.
Let's justify this ambition. I want a justification for the ambition.
Next time she will be a member of this government.
Jerry, let me protect you here, because I can see But are you persuaded that ambition in a budget is what will take us anywhere?
An ambition of a recurrent budget?
No.
How does even that sound?
Read the budget well.
Let me read it for you. The total government expenditure and net lending we are at 3.9 trillion.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you, we are talking of a ministerial recurrent expenditure of 1,628.6 billion. That is like 1.6 trillion, right? We are talking of development of 745 billion. You cannot be ambitious with a current budget. In fact, if you were to ask me, these members of parliament and members of the county assembly should tell us, Eden here, Kenya has become too much. Let us sacrifice half of our salary. We reduce this. You cannot be giving us expenditure ambitions and taking down development. How are we going to sustain our economy tomorrow after we pay debt?
The budget is 3.9 trillion. Now, you have said the current expenditure is 1.6 trillion.
Yes.
Can you justify where 2.3 trillion is going?
It's of course going to the interest payment and pension, which is another 1.2 trillion.
We deal with our debts.
Why? Then it's going to...
Why?
We deal with our debts,
yes,
external and local, and we must pay our workers.
Then let me ask you one question.
Even you when we
how sustainable?
You as a CS
how sustainable? And back to this question: how sustainable will this model remain? For how long can we just be paying debt and doing nothing else?
As it is right now, we are in an ICU.
No, right now we are in the morgue.
No, you forget. Jerry is over.
Honestly,
but I'll tell you for a fact. When Jerry is talking, people want to assume like running government, You run government on aid.
On expenditure.
We run me and you are government.
The question is,
your tax, my tax is government.
Gentlemen, okay, calm down. The issue is the ambition. We have a very huge budget.
The ambition.
3.9 trillion shillings, a budget that we cannot afford by any standard.
We are already at
No, we are just
on projections.
short of the total budget by
most of
2.5
these
billion.
Things, most of these things are done on projections.
Yes.
And 90% of these projections, we will get there.
How? Last year
Because, you know why?
50 billion.
Last year we were short because, we were short of 250 billion. But if we made a budget that was lower,
how much did you go
no, wait.
Don't you think that because of this ambition,
yes,
the government will have no choice but to borrow more
250
because you've already done allocations?
No.
Fred, let's speak the
Now,
truth.
listen.
We are short of the total budget by 250 billion.
Last year.
That's last year's budget. Care recollection, not total budget.
Last year, what we did in last year, and I want you to look at it, we were getting, these guys left us dead for whatever reason. What we did is we were planting. Last year we were planting. Now the crops are almost harvesting. So as you see the projection, you see basically an economic model, whatever way you may put it, we had to put mitigation measures. We had to put measures in such a way that from there,
yes,
Kenyans will make noise, whether the budget was even less or not. It is a country, practically, yes, we know there's a pinch here and there, but a pinch is because of ambitious projects that were done, which are white elephants, which you still have to pay.
Aren't we doing the same right now by having an over?
No, right now, the budget, but we are not on the...
I'll give each one of you a chance.
Yes.
I'll give each one of you an opportunity to speak.
It would be wrong to say that the budget is over ambitious. If you have noted, right from President Kibaki's time, every budget, you know, I'm telling you, a country is just like an individual. You cannot stagnate at one place. You have to grow.
At an expense of a tax.
No, but relax.
Okay.
The government,
get money.
you know, the government,
unless we sell it.
I sit in the neck of our party. And one of the areas we promised Kenyans during our campaigns was to streamline matters, tax collection and tax utilization.
Yes.
And that is why the president have even put it very clearly. I was not elected for the purpose of being re-elected. Yes. I was elected to streamline matters in this country. What I'm saying, relax.
See, now, you guys...
You know you have to wait also to be told. You learn by listening at times, then you talk. So what I'm saying is, even the mama boga and any other person, they will eventually benefit from, from those programs the government...
Which programs?
The bottom up, the bottom up. At times, Fred, even when look, Fred, even when you buy a new shoe, at times before it fits.
Let's speak
one at a time.
You're speaking over each other.
What I'm saying is this: even when you buy a very nice new shoe, at times it takes 2-3 few weeks time. It pinches you a bit, but once the fit settles properly into the shoe, you will be walking comfortable and people will be saying, oh, look at how beautiful those feet are. That is exactly the same thing. The taxes...
We go through experience.
Yes.
And KRA recorded its highest shortfall in tax collections this time round, despite the new tax regime.
Who says that?
Yes, this is data.
Even this data, at times,
are you doubting the data?
We are living at a time of very, very high...
All this data comes from the Central Bank of Kenya.
We are living in times of very high propaganda. And let me tell you...
This is not propaganda.
The problem... No, I'm not even accusing Fred. But you see, the thing is this. It is not good every minute. We are just trying to put spanner in the works.
We are questioning the ambition. And we are not saying ambition is wrong.
Ambition is perfect. With me, I will defend that ambition from morning to evening and wake up to defend it tomorrow.
Yes.
Because we have a government that want to see the country growing. And that is why you have even seen we have put a job freeze. We are complaining of the recurrent expenditure. The government have put a jobs freeze. Let's not employ more people. Let's deal with the group or with the workers we have as we try to take more resources towards growing our economy. And the economy will grow. Recently, I was in Namanga. Let me finish with this, friend. Recently, I was in Namanga. Those guys told me there is something that your president has done that is working, because at some time recently, the Kenyan shilling was even trading here at 13 shillings. Now it is at 21. So, you know, as much as we want to ratify things, things are working.
Okay. Are you persuaded on this issue of counties? Let's focus on counties a bit.
Yes.
The 400 billion shillings. Are you persuaded that, yes, it is positive that we have more allocation to the counties, but are you persuaded that that will result in better development at that level?
The problem with county governments, you are putting me at a very tricky situation based on the fact that I come from Nyandarua, and you know, accountability is a problem there in my county. But I want to tell you, the addition of 15 billion to counties, in some counties where we have accountable leaders who have the goodwill of Wanjiko, it's going to work. Because I always tell every other young person and every other Wanjiko person back in Mashinani, as long as your governor is willing, if they are willing, it's gonna happen. If they are not willing, it's not going to happen. You understand? Because at the end of the day, just like the president, if he's willing to allow Kenyans not to be overtaxed at the same time, because we cannot pressure Kenyans 0 to 100 over 1 year. It's of course humanly and logically not even possible. You cannot also have a growth of 0 to 100 within 1 year. It's impossible. Back to the counties issue. The additional allocation has, like every other county, like in my county, I can see our allocation is about 6 billion. But the problem I have, is it going to really do the job that it's supposed to do, or it's going to fit in somebody's pocket? Is the governor going to use the money allocated to maintain the manifesto that Kenya Kwanza gave, or he's going to take that money and repair those small financial debts that he had when he was doing campaigns? Because when we go back to Mashinani, you understand that a governor, an MCA, member of parliament and national government, right? When this money goes pale Mashinani, how much is going to recurrent? How much is going to development? Look at our county, Nyandarua County, where we had an issue of absorption in agriculture, yet Nyandarua County is supposed to feed the most of these Nairobi and most of this nation. If Nyandarua County itself is having a problem in absorption of agricultural budget allocation, you can imagine you have now, whatever they had last year, they have not used. It has gone back to treasury. Then you have added them more money. Inaenda wapi? You understand? So the problem sometimes is personalized. Sometimes the problem is personalized.
An issue of capacity.
And an issue of capacity. And that is why I tell Kenyans, please, as you vote in somebody as a governor, don't just get somebody from Turkana who has never been a member of parliament, who has never been in any government office, and give them a job. Because today, member for Chinga will tell you the time that he has been in county assembly, he has learned 1, 2, 3 things. Probably, if tomorrow he became a governor of a certain county, he will do some things way better in a government manner than me, who has been brought from Turkana there and just been brought in a government office, who does not even know how a budget works, how a budget...
You are from Turkana?
No, I'm just saying...
Oh, we don't hear from Turkana.
I have a lot of voice. So
I'm just saying...
I want to get your views on this increased allocation to counties.
I'm a staunch supporter of devolution. Though, in every election cycle, we create 47 billionaires, not necessarily plus their deputies. If you were to make a mistake of what I had my brother here from Chinga say, devolve the 50 million, it is basically devolving corruption. It's basically making these guys. It's nothing. Let me tell you, as it is, as at now, so far so bad. Because the collection point and the use point is and the use point is usually the problem. The amount of pending bills we have right now in counties is crazy. So basically we have already crippled our working economy as it is right now. So trying or daring to take it down Mashinani further, my friend, it would be a deathbed. I would rather we stay there, you handle the political part of it, until you get a way of knowing how you get your resources there. Because basically our biggest problem is our politics. And the way we run now, we have governors. I had, I come from Kiambu. Our governor is called Dr. Kimani Omata, Doctor. I don't even know where he went. I don't know if he's honorary. Nobody has ever told us any about it. But he did, there is something funny he did on the collection. He collected around 3.35 yes. Billion. It was, I don't know what he did, and everybody is making a lot of noise. He's not doing this, he's giving checks. Equally as he's collecting, we know of the loopholes in this county.
Loopholes exist even within the national government.
Yes.
And back to my question about this ambition, wouldn't it have been easier for a country in dire straits like ourselves to actually focus more on sealing loopholes, both at the national and county levels?
You can.
Yeah.
Probably fixing areas where there's pilferage of national resources, corruption that is endemic and no one is talking about it. Isn't it incumbent upon this government to focus more on making sure that, because the president said we need to live within our means.
Exactly.
Yes?
Exactly.
Then if at all you are living within your means, you cannot be overly ambitious with a budget that you cannot afford.
Oh, no, Fred, that is where you are going wrong.
Yes.
You know, you are a very bright gentleman. Very bright.
Well,
you are going very wrong when you keep saying and you keep repeating and I keep informing you. There is nothing like ambitious here.
The
like government,
but it is.
A budget,
government has a
we can't afford
fundamental.
it.
You know why we budget?
Relax, guys. You will get your chance. Let me prosecute my case. The government is not doing anything out of the ordinary. When a government is elected, its core duty is to grow a country. And we cannot elect President William Ruto and his government to grow this country. Then we want, you know, every time he's trying to take us up, we are there trying to pull him down. From where I am and what I can urge Kenyans, let us support our president so that we grow this country. And one thing I want to say, Fred, you know, my brother here is saying, I don't know, devolving money, I don't know.
He's opposed to the word fund.
Yes.
No,
let me tell him, you know, Kenyans, they have very fertile imaginations. Someone may see you walk out there with me, they said, tumeenda kwa show kupatiana pesa. It doesn't have to be that way. We're going to be positive. Let me tell you something. Actually, word fund, in a place like Nyeri, it's in existence, though it is because the governor we have today has been magnanimous enough to grant us those monies. And I can tell you, you can even come to Shiga Ward, both of you, and even you, friend. You see, I show you bridges we have done through those monies. I show you a lot of dilapidated roads we have done using that money. So, in fact, what we will be doing, we will be legalizing what is already happening and removing that power of deciding where to allocate and where not to allocate from the governor's hands. In fact, let me tell this, my brothers and sisters here. You don't just spend government money as you wish. There is the Auditor General, we have the Comptroller of Budget, and those projects, for example, we come and do a CIDP, which is a work plan of 5 years. Then we have the ADPs, which is a work plan for every year. Those projects that you give in CIDP are the same projects you have to be developing every other year. And you have to show, for example, let me give my brother here a very good example. Recently, I was giving goat manure in my ward because we want to boost crop production. We gave over 5,000 people. Those 5,000 people had to sign. They have collected this manure through which has been brought by the MC from the county government. They had to indicate the amount of manure, you know.
The concern is about possible loopholes and
yes, but we seal the thing is this, friend, we seal the loopholes, but even as we seal the loopholes, we don't stagnate. We have, you know, someone once, very wise once said, we can never discover new seas if we are never ready to lose sight of the shores.
Even when we cannot afford that journey?
No, we can afford.
My problem with county governments is very simple. The politics of this nation and the governance is very intertwined that sometimes governance suffers the consequences of bad politics.
Yes.
You understand?
You cannot handle this.
Come to my county, go to Kiambu, go to Murang'a, everywhere. They'll tell you for a fact, some money has been misappropriated, corrupted money, illegalities in government, illegal appointments into boards, illegal. money being collected from contractors, like in our case where you have to pay 10% for you to get tenders and all that.
Actually,
they will not seal those loopholes. And what happens when the money comes in? It goes through the holes, because you don't expect somebody who purchased a tender, assuming a road that was worth 3 million, they purchased, maybe the road is in Nyandarua County, they bought the road for 300,000, that is 10%. Then you expect they are going to do this road to the standard that is required. They are going to do it at substandard because they need to take back some money and cover the losses that they had when they were purchasing the tender. So then what happens? Next year, that road has to be allocated again, and again it goes to recurrent budget. You understand? It's not going to be done newly, but it's going to be, it may be recapitulated on something like that, because alifanya substandard to cover the money that they paid to the governor for them to be given that road. We have to be very honest as Kenyans. Loopholes in the county government are so many.
Okay.
Pending bills in the county government are so many. And those pending bills in the county government are only paid if your pending bill is assuming 10 million. If you go with 1 million, maybe your pending bill will be pushed.
Yes,
you understand? And we have to be very honest to Kenyan people. The problem is not pending bills. The problem is the person who is in that office, the governor, making personal decisions on who is supposed to be paid the pending bills, who is not going to be paid. So if you are not politically aligned with that governor, you'll not be paid. Like coming to my country, Nyandarua, if you don't walk line in line with Governor Badilisha, you are very sure your pending bills will have to be paid the next regime, which is the saddest thing about this country.
I want us to move on to something else. And
before we end,
this has been key, and you will still get to comment on whatever it is you want to comment on. But on the issue of public participation, I want us to examine how consequential or meaningful public participation has been. Gauging public sentiment this time around, you can see people are angry. People are talking about pain. Yes. This has been expressed in so many different forums. Yet we are not seeing that anger and pain and concern being taken into account in this budget-making process. It is a process that has started on August 30th last year. It's been months in making. This time around, Kenyans understand the budget-making process better. Yes. Do you believe that probably to some extent we are missing the point when it comes to public participation?
No, public participation is supposed to be public in terms of getting views. But as much as we're getting views, we have had so much noise and very little of what we can do to elevate or ease in some burdens. 90% of the people are complaining. The 10% who give the mitigation issues are either not politically correct or for whatever reason are not there. So basically, you do there's a standstill because as we see.
So you do accept it's purely inconsequential?
No, at some point it's a lot of noise for nothing, because you see some of these things are just money minting charades, because you go through a whole budget process. The budget process is not done by one particular party. It is done across board. So everybody in Parliament, we're talking about 300 legislators. Everybody is part and parcel of that. But somebody wants to go outside there and do some populist thing. No. Like our member of Parliament in Gedongoro, she has been very loud, Honorable Gadoni Omushomba. But in her loudness, I have not seen solutions. So
no, she has really given solutions.
No. You don't give us. Don't come and tell.
You cannot shun Wamushomba.
It is like what our deputy went saying, one man, one vote, 1 shilling to the public. You don't do that. We are government as it is.
So it was wrong for the deputy president to say one man, one vote.
I don't want us to digress. I don't want us to digress to that discussion right now. It's on this participation because many people expected that.
No, I need to respond to him about the Wamushomba issue, because as a woman in politics and a woman in leadership, it is very wrong, because you have had it in so many headlines. Every Kenyan is saying the only sober central region member of parliament we have as at now.
Sober, loud.
Listen. You cannot call somebody loud for voicing what Wanjiko says. No. The people who are in parliament. Let me finish, gentlemen. Hey, listen. Let me finish. No, let me finish. Members of parliament in parliament are supposed to take our views as they are. They are not even supposed to try bring so much kind of English and whatever. They are supposed to take our views as they are. Let me finish.
Then
the problem these people have with Wamuchomba is because Wamuchomba is resonating with Wanjiku wa pale Mashinani.
You see, now that's the
and
problem.
He comes from Kiambu. I'm going to tell you this, friend. We were here with you last year during the last financial bill. We are here with you this financial bill. Wamuchomba has simply decided, I am not going to cover my head in the sun and assume that my Kiambu people are not suffering.
Are you saying
and she's speaking what all Kenyans want to speak.
Because
and if Wamuchomba is listening, let me finish. If you are listening, the things you are saying, Wamuchomba, are exactly what every Kenyan feels.
Very populist.
Okay.
And you need to continue. Whether the party takes you to a disciplinary tribunal, just know at the end of the day, the members of parliament who are right now puppets of the executive and who are an extension of
it is a secret ballot.
Let me finish.
Let's allow Njeri to finish.
Yeah,
but
and I told you bring it to government people was not a good idea, but let me tell you, nitawahandle hapa vizuri.
You are not handling.
What I am trying to
call
say,
members of parliament puppets.
They
are not moving.
Puppets. Let me prove.
Let's move on, Bwana Kiruga. Even public participation, even at the county level, is conducted. Yes. It is a consequentiality of this public participation that is provided for in the constitution that we are trying to examine. According to Jimmy here, he says it's a lot of nothing. It's there's no use for it. Do you agree with him?
No, I don't agree with him. In fact, but before I handle that, let me say this to my fellow panelists here, and including yourself, friend. You know, at one time, the great Nelson Mandela once said, there is no person and there is no body of individuals or experts that has a monopoly of wisdom and knowledge. So, even as we discussed, don't tell us so-and-so say this or that. That person, in your opinion, he or she may be scoring very high because it's your opinion that way. But kindly leave a room for the opinion of others. That person cannot be perfect alone. Fred, coming back to the issue of public
it is the same thing because it's opinions of others. When people generally have opinion about something,
but you see now
is it being taken into account?
But at times, you know, one thing I can, and you are my very good friend, and one thing I can accuse you people of the media, at times you decide to amplify what you prefer to, you know, what you want to deal with, you amplify that one. If you want to amplify some negatives, you amplify them over what is
one of the panelists
positive.
I just said there's no need for public.
No, there is need.
No,
let me tell you why there is need.
Because it's very clear. I look at it.
They are from government, but not from the same school.
Yes,
no, we don't have to.
Yes,
everyone has
we have
opinion.
different.
That shows you this like
views.
democratic government.
Very good.
So, what I want to
beautiful government.
What I want to tell you is, public participation is very important. For example, currently, WASLEB, these are the water regulators, came to our county recently. And they said they want to do public participation because they want to increase water tariffs. Unfortunately, they just called for meetings in the constituency headquarters. Yet, the laws are very clear. They should go, you know, all the way to where the consumers are. For example, in every ward. So, I've already told the WASLEB and those water bodies there, if they increase the water charges, and because we feel they have not done proper public participation, we will take them to court. In fact, next week in our assembly, we are taking up these issues.
What is public participation?
Public participation is people coming, for example, in that issue of water tariffs, people come here, you explain to them, you want to increase water charges, they tell you, we agree with you or we don't. But then again, you cannot come here, you call less than 5% of the water consumers, then you say you have done public participation and you want to increase water charges. We cannot allow them. So what happens is we have various, for example, we do various public participations in our Bogo farm for various activities in our wards. And what is gotten from the public is then aligned with the general purview of what is intended to be done.
I want you to get there, because the question is, you're saying that public participation should be consequential. Yes. Whatever the people who are attending and taking part, when the members of the public take part in that forum, and whatever they say should be aligned to the result.
Yes.
Yes? Is that what is happening at the national level, especially with the budget making process?
You know, Fred, there is one thing. You know, even this, you can look at it from different contexts. Even in a court of law, you hear the magistrate or the judge, they will ask a person, before you are sentenced, do you have something you would want to say to mitigate opposition? You will say. So, now when the judgment is being written or given, your input will be considered. The same case happens in these public participations, because you intend to do this or that or that or that or that. It can, what the public says during these public participation meetings will tamper the overall decision, and this is exactly what happened.
Consequential.
Is that what you see?
Consequential. Actually, the advice he said.
He said one thing.
Let me finish.
Let's have one person at a time.
Allow Njeri to.
Fred, I think you should be switching off their mic so that they allow me to.
I'm listening to you.
Let me tell you. And this is a problem with Kenya Kwanza. They don't listen to Wanjiko. You know, I'm a Wanjiko and you are honorable member, you're not listening.
I'm listening to you, Jerry, and I'm supporting you. I'm saying,
let me say this. Public participation, Finance Bill 2024. I stay in Nairobi, Embakasi, where a member of Parliament is Babu Owino. Nyandarua County, I have not heard of any meeting of the Finance Bill 2024. Yet, in the absorption of the national government, we are going to see hundreds of millions were absorbed as public participation for the 2024 finance bill. My question is, are these public finance bill happening at night, and are they secretive? Because I don't think any media, from TV47, Citizen, NTV, any, call them, I have not heard any media tell us that today we are in Kiambu, where there is a public participation being led by the Member of Parliament or being led by the Member of Parliament back in my county, Daragwa or Kinangop, of public participation of the Finance Bill 2024. What does that tell you? We have absorbed money in the budget as public participation, but nothing of a public participation has been done.
Okay, but
because
in Nairobi,
if it was to be done, the correct views they would take from Wanjiko, 10 out of 9 people in Mashinani will tell you, Hatuna, we don't have the money to be taxed. You understand?
Okay.
And when Wamoshomba goes and says it, they are saying she's a populist. She's not a populist. She's somebody who is viewing
various organizations appeared before the National Assembly Committee on finance and planning, the one that's handling the finance bill. Among them, the Kenya Manufacturers Association, the Bankers Association, Kenya Private Sector Alliance. These are non-partisan.
The oil
and these are the people involved in the business. And they raised some concerns, including some corporate organizations. They raised concerns about some of the taxation measures. What you're seeing is that a lot of this is ignored. And when you talk about public participation, it's not just about Wanjiko. Even some of these people who are in charge of production and manufacturing, surely.
But that's where we are going on, Fred.
Most of them pull to where it doesn't pinch most. That is normal for any human being, any business. That is why some of their views are taken into account, some are ignored. But what that is in line with the budget process. These public participations are just money minting schemes. Because 90% of all these public, even in the counties, those things are stories. People just go see, these guys will go, a few coins and everything is there. Everything just goes haywire. So basically I do not see some value for that, because we do not get the genuine concerns of the undertakers of the problem or the issue at hand. It is left to legislators. So I see it as a waste of money. Because as much as he's saying...
So in the budget, maybe we should remove the allocation for public participation.
Because that, you know, those are just stipends and for these guys to do and meet. There's nothing. Because the true feeling, for instance, we have been watching TV for the last, say, 1 or 2 months. There is no bigger public participation than what you can see here. You have the viewers and the people on social media. That is... These guys want to tell us they make some meeting.
And general perception is that most people have issues with this.
Yes.
But that will not be taken into account.
They did not even say nothing. These guys know that one I refuse.
No, wait, you have had your chance.
Let me now. It's like the word fund.
Let me have my...
That thing is devolving corruption.
Relax.
Okay.
Fred, you know, at times you also go wrong. And you know you're a very good man.
You say that
you know, Fred,
now that is the 100 times.
And you know, I can even repeat it severally. And you know you yourself, Fred, you are a very good man. In fact, if someone looking at you this way and being told to guess whom you are, they may even say you are a bishop because you look a religious person. Look, it is not good to say, Fred, that people make input and it is ignored. It is not ignored. It is, it is considered alongside the main proposals. So, the fiscal experts taking care of these processes may value some areas, or they may decide not to value them. It doesn't mean they are ignoring what is being said. In fact, it may inform how the whole process is going to be undertaken. The issue of public participation, I want to urge my friends, they better learn to live with it, because it is in our fiscal laws and it is in all the laws.
We need reforms on that.
No,
yeah, we need them.
No, 100%.
There is no problem.
Yeah.
There is no problem.
No,
there is no problem. Yes. They can start whatever reforms it is within their rights. Yes. It is doable within the law. They have to convince others. They come up with by the way, Fred, you can change anything, including the constitution. It's just that you have to say to meet certain parameters. So that you just don't.
We need those parameters.
And
you don't come. Just you come today. You say you want to change the constitution. That is why they say you have to have. These are noisemakers. You relax a bit. You have to. For example, if you want to change the constitution, you have to have 1 million signatures, because you just don't want to come and disturb people over primitive issues. But Fred, what I'm saying is this: like my sister here. This girl, she's very ambitious, and she will go far, especially if she decides to come to the government party.
I'm not coming to government.
Now, we are ready to save you. So now, what I want to inform her is, she's, by her own admission, she says she lives somewhere here in Nairobi here. Now, she may not be able to know what Governor Badrisha in the Nyandarua County are doing on the ground. No. You cannot be updated when you are.
TV47 is in Nyandarua County.
You cannot be in Nairobi and you are in Nyandarua. They may be doing things the right way, just that you may not be aware of what they are doing. Just the same way, both of you
but
are not.
But public participation is not a secret. It should be in the public.
Just like both of you are not aware of the good things we have done to Nyeri, just like both of you don't know that I was elected because of the good work I did in Chika. Those people, they don't just elect people.
This guy he's an UDA.
Just like they don't know.
I know.
Because of time.
Just like they may not know.
Because of time.
The people of there may even decide to make a member of parliament. Because of good work we are doing.
You're going there.
Because of time.
They may decide.
Yes.
Because of time, and we are getting very close to the end. I want us to now examine the role of parliamentarians in the budget-making process, because ideally this budget is not made by Treasury, it is made by Parliament. Yes? But from what we saw last year, and if you may recall, a number of members of the National Assembly admitted in public that they had not gone through the Finance Bill 2023. Which is now the Finance Act of 2023.
Yes.
They had not gone through it. Yes. Now, the question is, are you persuaded that this Parliament, the 13th Parliament, is giving quality scrutiny or quality input into the budget-making process this time around, Jerry?
First of all, I was with you. Luckily, we were with you here last year during the other finance bill. And I told you very well, the 13th Parliament is an extension of the executive. And they have to go home with that knowledge that Kenyans are looking at them as an extension of the executive. Because one, last year, the Finance Bill 2023 went through. Then after some few months, we hear some members from Gatanga and from the central region saying, oh, you know, we did not know that finance bill. What is the need of Kenyans paying you as a member of parliament, paying a number of employees in your office? You have even a research officer in your office, and you did not bother to tell your research people to tell you what is involved in that finance bill. How does it affect your people? Then you come and cry for that, oh, you know, we did not know that part was it. It's a very small document, in as much as we want to, of course it has so many, it cannot be read one day and completed, and even Nomo Wanjiko will have to be sat down by somebody who can interpret it to them in a language that they understand. But my stand since last year has always been this: parliamentarians in Kenya don't even read that finance bill. You saw a video clip of one guy called Botenjogu. He said he's a comedian. He was saying parliamentarians in Kenya just wake up, they call the president and their party leaders and ask them, what do you think of that finance bill? If they are hiyo kitu nipitishe mkubwa. Watu wa kwangu wanasema nisipitishe, niko na pesa yako. And as long as their party leader tells them no, they're not going to even further read it. Right now, as we speak, can you imagine some members of parliament had the audacity to yesterday be absent in parliament as the budget was being read. My member of parliament in Daragwa was not even in parliament. He's out of the country. And you are wondering,
maybe it was
whatever reason he's supposed to be in Kenya right now, taking my views. And that is why, let me finish. Are you his spokesperson?
No, I'm just...
Let me tell you one thing that is going to happen in Kenya. You cannot be a member of parliament when the finance bill is being debated in Kenya. You are out of the country. We can't even reach you on phone and tell you, hey boss, that bill has a bread increment of this and this.
Did you get onto that trend of calling your member of parliament?
He was out of reach. We called him. Number yake haiendi through. He's out of the country. He's not even in Kenya. You know, at least Heri Ngelia akose kushika. The member of parliament for Naragwa is out of the country. The problem is this. No, let me finish. No, let me finish. The problem is this. Yesterday, Kenyans on Twitter went wild. They took numbers of members of parliament. After I understand, they have added them in one group, and they are now texting them as a group and telling them. Hey,
and you tried calling your member of parliament?
Yeah, and he was out of court.
But tomorrow, Jerry will become a member of parliament.
Have you got
know it is not deliberately that people are away.
No, my member of parliament...
Let's allow Jimmy to...
My member of parliament stopped taking my calls, and the way we hustled, you know, Kawanjiko, you remember the way we hustled getting it?
Your member of parliament refused to pick your calls? Yes. Because Jimmy...
No, why we be sorting?
Jimmy...
yes.
We're trying to examine.
No, I was calling him.
You're out of order.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Jimmy, we're trying to examine the input that members of parliament have, and given that trend, are Kenyans right to actually call their members and tell them what to do?
No, it was not done in good faith. It was done in good faith. It would have been a good, because I'm telling you, like you see, the chair of budget, Honorable Dindi, we have a brilliant young man on that. Now, it is for our other brilliant members of parliament to either, if they cannot read, go ask Honorable Dindi, please, my brother, explain this thing, or mitigate on how we will get it in some,
Then why are we paying their employees?
Because you see, we have a problem in this country. Like if you see all the wiper, I'm looking at a list where all the wiper, and a few UDA said no. They don't go to no, yeah.
They said no to what?
To the finance bill. Eh?
No, the finance bill has not been voted for. This one is the budget.
Yeah, the budget. Yeah, the one.
Finance bill. You see, na serikali ni yao na hawajui budget.
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
The finance bill has not been voted.
Not we are. The finance bill.
Itakuja next week.
No, you would remember.
But the issue is because it is very involving for members of parliament, this process. But are we certain and are we persuaded that they're actually giving quality to this process?
100% we're not getting quality, because for each docket, be it energy, be it water, be it finance, we have a chair and we have a subcommittee. The problem lies there, because these people are either not informed on what is happening with other committees in parliament. Now you see, for MCS that is worse. because MCAs are an extension.
Of the governor.
No, like in Kiambu.
Yeah, I have not talked.
They are spanner boys. They are spanner boys and girls. In fact, the biggest wars and the biggest problems we have probably in Kiambu is because we don't even know what happens. These guys 5,000 every day for following the governor. But apparently the governor is doing
something. It's also in
miracle.
Nyandarua. I think it's a community.
We have so much money with the governor to a point where if you give these guys money, we are dead.
Okay. Bwana Kiruga Thuku, and the question is, and I'm very clear about this question, it is about whether or not members of the National Assembly are giving quality input to the budget making process.
Definitely they are, but you see, friend, in everything you do in this world, friend, even the choice of your wife, that doesn't concern anyone other than you. People will still come there and say, oh, look at the kind of wife he has taken. Oh, look at the kind of husband he has taken. So don't expect unanimity on any matter under the sun. There are still people who are created by God and they come here preaching to us there is no God. So what I'm saying is this, friend. I believe the members of parliament,
even those who said they had not read,
where are you just?
Let's not joke with that part.
In what context did they say that? Because you see, you know, in this country, for example, when she says, I'm very careful about what I'm saying, because she is even capable of twisting something very even the tie you are wearing there, she can twist it and it looks something else altogether. And we are lucky we have that one, he's from our side. But you see, the thing is, though he keeps attacking MCs, the issue is this, Fred. Most people in positions of leadership, especially those who have been put there by the public, our duty number one, especially where I'm concerned, and because I want to believe most of the leaders have that kind of passion that I have, to see the people getting the level best that they can get. And it's as simple as that. And Fred, even in your house, even in your home, you know you have a budget for so many things. You want to clothe your wife, you want to clothe your children, you want to eat, you have a health bill to take care of, the children has to go to school. You realize you don't have that lump sum money there. The money has to come from somewhere. Maybe you say it to come from this area, the wife, you know, this input. And at the end of the day, you take care of today as you hope for a better tomorrow. The country is not different. We take care of what we are able to today and as we aim for a better tomorrow. But I have no doubt, let me say this, Fred, I have no doubt in my mind, because now God has ordained and I'm privileged to be part of these processes. I'm part of the team that is helping the president to implement the UDA manifesto. Can you relax? Can you relax?
Doing a beautiful job.
Okay,
Can you relax?
Our time is up.
We want to welcome you to UDA.
I can see you're coming to your parting shot now that you're talking about UDA already.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is this. Now that I'm privileged to be part of the team that is helping the president implement the UDA manifesto, I can say here without doubt and without batting an eyelid, the president and all of us in UDA and Kenya Kwanza means well for this country, and I have no doubt by the time the president is doing his first 5 years, God willing, in fact, it is Kenyans who will be calling him, telling him, don't try to, we want to take you back there so that you can keep fixing issues. So, therefore, things will get better. And, you know, at times I finish biblically, friend, and I say, you know, when the children of Israel were going to Canaan, some spies were sent out there, and when they came back, they were 12. 10 of them said, yes, there is honey, there is milk, but that country has giants, we cannot get there. 2 of them were very optimistic, Joshua and Caleb. They said, there might be giants there might be all the challenges, but God whom we trust in will help us and we shall conquer. Amen. And today, the giants that are facing us will be conquered and Kenya will prosper. Okay. Thank you, man.
Jerry, final words.
Yeah, I want to tell member for Chinga, if politics fails come 2027, when Kenyans are going to vote out all UDA members,
here's another
he can try.
He can switch.
That aside, I want to tell members of this nation, and I want to be very particular. to my member of parliament and members of parliament of the Mount Kenya region and members of parliament of this nation. Mulisema serikali ya mtu wa chini. I can already see bodabodas are going to be going to be part of the motor vehicle. Taxes. Yeah, we can also see Mama Mboga is very much affected. I want to tell those members of parliament, right now the political table is a round table. Today we are at your masses and we are begging you. We are forming WhatsApp group and adding you there. We are calling your families, fathers, mothers, sisters and brothers to beg you to please not vote this finance bill. But I can bet you, come 2027, you are going to call our family members, you are going to even come cook chapatis in our home as you beg us to vote you back, and we are going to remind you when we were begging you, you did not listen to us. So even if you come cook for me chapati in Daragwa, I'm not going to vote you back. So if you want us to listen to you come 2027, you have to take into account the views of the Kenyan people. We are not ready to be taxed. Finance Bill 2024 was not necessary. I wish we remained with Finance Bill 2023. And for the political people that are going to benefit from the Finance Bill 2024, please benefit enough, because come 2027, Kenyans are going to wipe out this regime in totality.
Okay.
All of it. And the young people are going to come out. Young people like Jerry Kahiga, young people like Wamoshomba, who are very sober in this nation. Where she's not old.
Okay.
Yes, she's young. We are going to take this nation. No, listen.
It was parting shot only.
Yeah, we are going to take this nation to the next level, because we are not going to allow members of parliament who don't listen to this nation. And to the president, please, fanya Mama Mboga anavyosema. Keep to your manifesto.
Jimmy, parting shot.
On my parting shot, I'll be very precise. I know Kenyans have big issues on the tax regime and a lot is not working out, but I want us to be hopeful, optimistic.
Yes.
We need to pray for our president. We need him to have favor from God and favor from man, so that he can move and steer this country into greater heights. Why I am saying all that is because at no point will we ever run this country like we are playing, darts, or some game. We need to understand, me and you are government.
Okay.
Government and opposition.
Government is made up of me and you.
But you don't listen to my opinion when I say the taxes are so high.
Thank you so much.
So you are running government alone.
Allow me to end the show. Allow me.
Are we invited for the dance?
Oh yes, it is a Feelgood Friday. You're welcome to stay around. We'll be having
we can dance because honestly,
after this,
as Kenyans, we need to dance.
And it will be good to see.
Does the show arouse people to scream so that you don't pick and do?
Thank you so much. Yes, you will get that opportunity after the break. Allow me to thank you. Allow me to thank you, Jimmy Gikwa, political analyst, Njeri Kahiga, national youth leader, PNU, and Kiruga Dhuku, MCA Shinga Ward in Odhaya, Nyeri County, and UDA NEC member and also chairperson of the UDA MCA's caucus. Our panelists this morning, as we try to understand just how this budget making process will affect you, the Mwananchi. Do stand by for a lot more. As I said, it is a Feelgood Friday. But Kenyans have been sharing their sentiments about the budget. And as we end the show, this bit of the show, let's listen to what they had to say.
Mimi sikuwa karibu na si kuhudhuria, lakini hii mswada ya ikipitishwa, mimi kwangu itaniumiza. Kwa sababu tunafanyaga kazi na magari. Wakati mafuta imeongezwa juu, ni kusema ukweli, sasa nikitaka kufanya transport, nipeleke kitu yangu Nairobi, sasa itanibidi itabidi niongeze juu nauri. Unaona, kwa mfano nalipisha 30,000, nitakwambia nipe 35,000. Utaona naye ule mtu alikuwa anataka kuja komboi gari yangu atashindwa, manake bei imepanda. Na si kupenda kwetu, ni vile uchumi umetupeleka juu, nayo mafuta imepanda juu. Kwa hivyo kwangu siungi mkono
public participation. Watu wengi sana walikataa, na hiyo ndio ukweli ya kwamba ilipokuja participation tuliona wazi, hata kwenye maruninga zetu tuliona watu wakikataa hiyo kitu. Sasa kama inaonekana wazi ya kwamba kila mtu ameikataa, mbona hao watu 200 wako pale kwa bunge wajifanya ya kwamba hawaelewi matatizo tunayoyapitia? Maslahi yetu kwanza yasikizwe, ili yale yanaweza kurekebishwa ndani ya hiyo bill yawe ya kurekebishwa, kwa sababu ikipitishwa basi hatutakuwa na nchi, itabidi sasa tutafute nchi nyingine ya kwenda kuishi ndani. Na niambie hivi, watu wanaweza kuona raia ni werevu sana, kwa sababu ukiwatoza kodi ya juu, wao wenyewe hutafuta njia ya kusurvive. Tunasema adaptation. Kama watu walikuwa, kama kule kwetu tulikuwa tunatumia, kila mtu alikuwa anatumia gari lake. Siku hizi tunakutana kwa kijiji tunatumia gari moja. Tunaingia gari moja tunaliweka mafuta. Kumaanisha aje? Bado ukijaribu kuweka kodi juu hakuna faida utapata, manake raia naye watatafuta njia ya kujiondoa katika hiyo mitego yako.
Hakuna kitu. Hiyo public participation ni ukora ya wabunge. Wanataka kwenda kukula allowance. Public participation wameenda, ni kitu gani imebadilishwa? Hata sasa hivi tunananganywa na serikali ati ile mkutano Ruto alikuwa ameita wabunge ndio waenda wakaongea mambo ya budget imeahirishwa. Imeahirishwa ndio usiku wapigiwe simu, waambiwe ni lazima ipite, alafu tunanganywe kama wa Kenya. Ati wamepunguza mkate, sijui president alituhurumia, sijui wameangalia. Hiyo yote ni garbage. Hii serikali haijui chenye inafanya, na tungependa kuwauliza hiyo public participation hata sijui inabidi tuende kwa koti ndio iwe interpreted vizuri. What is this? Inasaidia Mkenya na nini? Wabunge wakisikia public participation ni kukimbia mbio kwa sababu ya allowance na pesa ya bila wanataka kutuenjoy kwa ma-TV. Umeona hata mheshimiwa Kuria akitusi watu. Amekuja public participation lakini analeta matusi. Ati kama hutaki kulipia gari uweke nyumbani. Wengine nao huda sijui kichwa inafanya kazi kwa namna gani. Unasikia mtu anakuambia ati maskini wanakula ile ugali ya jana, hawakuli mkate, tuachane na matajiri walipishwe mkate. You have and the advisors akina Professor Mutai Ngunyi ndio wana advise Ruto. Wale wengine ni akina David D. Watu wamenona na pesa ya mwananchi lakini hakuna kitu wanafanyia mwananchi. They are just working for the president. Lakini wakifanya hiyo wanarudi nyuma yetu. Wanakuja kutudanganya na vitu zingine. Kama kwa Mlima Kenya tunaanza kuambiwa mambo ya 1 man 1 shilling, sijui 1 vote, sijui nini. Hiyo ni kitu ambayo imepotosha mwelekeo. Na mimi kama kiongozi wa ODM ningesema chenye tunataka katika nchi yetu ni mjadala wa kukaa chini, tujadiliane. Kenya itatengenezwa namna gani? Kenya itaimarishwa vipi? Tutajenga viwanda ngapi? Tutafanya namna gani? Sio kwenda kutuambia mambo ya 1 man 1 shilling, sijui 1 vote, ndio mbunge apate pesa ya kuiba. Hiyo pesa wambunge wanazitumia zikuje kwao ndio waweze kuiba wakituambia ati ni basari sijui nini. Hizo mambo kama ya basari inatakiwa iishe, pesa yote ipelekwe kwa mpango wa elimu na yale mambo mengine. Kuna mambo hii ya finance bill ambayo nayo imeleta changamoto. Tumewekewa kodi ya magari, hata ingawa sina gari, lakini hiyo kodi si haki. Tumewekewa kodi ya mkate, tumewekewa kodi ya mafuta.
More than 1000 stakeholders waliweza kuenda kwa ile committee ambayo inakuwa chaired by member of parliament of Moro, Kuria Kimani. Wakaweza kupeleka nini zao, hata kanisa pia ilienda pale, na ni kama hii committee haikuweza kusikiza hiyo malalamishi ya hiyo watu.